Welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to start a topic of multiplication of matrices. So this is the first lesson of talking about multiplication of matrices. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the rule that we need to follow when you're multiplying matrices. Okay, so let's get into today's video. So we're going to talk about the rule of matrices that can be multiplied. The rules of matrices that can be multiplied. So how should the two matrices that are supposed to be multiplied be? Okay, so two matrices can be multiplied if the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. This is the golden rule of multiplying matrices. So this rule is stating that the number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, so what we're trying to say here is that when you are trying to multiply matrices, or when you want to multiply matrices, you should look at the order of matrices. If you look at the orders and you find that the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix, then those two matrices can be multiplied. Okay, let's try to identify matrices that can be multiplied. Okay, so identifying pairs of matrices that can be multiplied. Let's look at this first example. Okay, so these are the two matrices that we want to multiply. Now, according to the rule, the golden rule we have read on top, can these two matrices be multiplied? Okay, let's check the order of these matrices. So let's look at this matrix which I have underlined in orange. Okay, what is the order of this matrix? Please, if you are not sure on how to identify the order of matrices, please check in the description box. I have put the link of the video where I talked about orders of matrix, and then you can watch that video which can help you to understand the orders of matrix. Okay, so what is the order of this matrix? The order of this matrix is 1 by 2. That is the order of this matrix. It has one row and two columns. Okay, let's look at this one, the one I've underlined in blue. What is the order of this matrix? The order of this matrix is 1 by 2. It has one row and two columns. Okay, so these are the orders of these two matrices. Okay, so now let's go to the golden rule of multiplying matrices. Let's check. This rule is saying the number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. So let's go to the first matrix. Let's identify the number of columns. So we're saying this matrix, the first one, which is underlined with a line in orange, has two columns. So the number of columns is indicated by the last number, or the number on the right side of the order. So that is 2 there, the one I've circled in pink. That is indicating the number of columns this matrix has. Okay, then so it has two columns. Let's come to the second matrix, which is underlined in blue. How many rows does this matrix has? Okay, so the first number written in the order, the first number starting from the left, the first number, that is the number of rows. So this matrix has one row, they are underlined. Okay, so now let's go back to the golden rule, which states that two matrices can be multiplied if the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. So now let's ask ourselves, are these two numbers we have circled equal? The answer is no. The other one is 2, the other one is 1. So there is one which is big and the other one which is small. So they are not equal. Therefore, these two matrices cannot be multiplied. These two matrices cannot be multiplied. Why? Because they have got different number of columns and rows. So the number of columns and rows, the number of columns in matrix 1 should be or in the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. Okay, let's go to example number 2. I'm sure you are clear there. If you are not clear, you can also write your questions in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer your questions. Let's go to example number 2. Okay, so these are the two matrices we have. Okay, now let's write the order of these two matrices. So let's start with this one, the one I've underlined in orange. Okay, what is the order of this matrix? This matrix has the order of 1 by 2. It has 1 row and 2 columns. Okay, and this one has 2 rows and 1 column, so it's going to be 2 by 1. The one I've underlined in blue has 2 rows and 1 column, so it's going to be 2 by 1. Now let's check these two matrices. Let's check out these two matrices. Okay, let's go to the golden rule, which says the number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. So here in the first matrix, let's check. So the number of columns is indicated by this number, which is circled, which is 2. And in the second matrix, let's check. The number of rows is indicated by this number 2 again. Now, these two numbers are equal. So this matrix, the first one has 2 columns and the second one has 2 rows. So the number of columns in the first matrix is equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. Therefore, these two matrices can be multiplied. Okay, so as you can see, what is important for you as a student, you need just to know how to write the orders of matrix. Then multiplying matrices will be easier, because orders are very important when you are multiplying matrices, because they tell you whether this matrix can be multiplied and also how you can multiply the matrix, the given matrices. Okay, so as you can see, the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. Therefore, this matrix can be multiplied. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, this one, or this example. Let's look at this example. Okay, so those are the two matrices we have which we need to multiply. Now let's look at the order of the first matrix, the one I've underlined in orange. What is the order of that matrix? As you can see, it has 2 rows and 3 columns, so the order will be 2 by 3. Let's come to this one, underlined in blue. What is the order of this matrix? As you can see, it has 3 rows and 2 columns, so the order will be 3 by 2. Okay, so now let's check the number of columns in the first matrix. There are 3 columns, and in the second matrix, let's check the number of rows. We are saying there are 3 rows there. Okay, you can still count them. I said if you have got problems on how to write orders of matrix, just go in the comment section or in the description box. You'll find the link to the video where I talked about orders of matrix, so that you can also learn more about orders of matrix. Now, as I was saying, as you can see, the first matrix has 3 columns and the second matrix has 3 rows. So now, as you can see, the number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. Therefore, these two matrices can be multiplied. Okay, so these two matrices can be multiplied. Let's go to the fourth example. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is the fourth example. I want you viewers to pause this video. I want you to work out this example. Try to find the to identify whether these two matrices can be multiplied. So pause this video. Apply the knowledge I've shared with you using the golden rule, which is on top. Now try to identify whether these two matrices can be multiplied. Okay, so I'll take it that you paused the video and you tried to solve it, okay, or to identify whether these matrices can be multiplied. So as usual, we are going to go into identifying the the order of these two matrices. So I'm not going to write like I was writing. I'm going to write like the way I was writing, then I also explain. So here, let's start with this one. What is the order of this matrix? So this matrix has the order of 3 multiplied by 2, or not 3 multiplied by 2, but 3 by 2. The order of this matrix is 3 by 2. Okay, it's not multiplication, it's just the order 3 by 2. Okay, then what is the order of this second matrix underlined in blue? The order is 2 by 2. Okay, that's the order of this matrix is 2 by 2. It has 2 rows and 2 columns. The first one has 3 columns and 2 rows. It has 3 rows and 2 columns. The first one has 3 rows and 2 columns. The second one has 2 rows and 2 columns. 2 rows and 2 columns. So those are the orders. Now let's check the number of columns in the first matrix. There are 2 columns. Let's check the number of rows in the second matrix. There are 2 columns. Okay, so if there are 2 columns, then that means the number of columns are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. The number of columns in the first matrix are equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. Therefore, this matrix can also be multiplied. So basically, this is what you do before you start multiplying any matrix. You need to identify whether they can be multiplied by checking the number of columns in the first matrix and the number of rows in the second matrix. If they are equal, then they can be multiplied. Okay, now let's talk about these outer numbers we are seeing in these matrices. Okay, let's ignore the first example because these matrices cannot be multiplied. So let's ignore that one. Let's go to the second matrix where we have a matrix where there are elements 1 and 4, as well as the second matrix has 8 and 9. Let's talk about these outer numbers. In this matrix, we have this one here and this one here, the one I've circled in brown. What do these outer numbers tell us? These outer numbers, they tell us that the product or the product we are going to get after multiplying these two matrices should have the order of 1 by 1. Okay, so these two numbers, the outer numbers, they are telling us the order of the matrix we are going to get after multiplying. So in this second question, the example 2, it's saying that the order of the matrix we'll get will be 1 by 1, like the way I've written down there. It's going to be 1 by 1. So those outer numbers, they are telling us the order of the matrix we are going to get after multiplying these two matrices. Let's look at this third example. That is the second among these which can be multiplied. So this one has 2 and the other side 2. So this is telling us that the answer we're going to get will be 2 by 2. The order of the product we're going to get after multiplying these two matrices is going to be 2 by 2. So it's the order of the answer we're going to get, the product we're going to get after multiplying these two matrices is going to be 2 by 2. Okay, let's look at the final example here. So this one has got 3 and 2 at the end. So this one is telling us that the order of the matrix we're going to get after multiplying these two matrices will be 3 by 2. It's going to be 3 by 2. Okay, so these are the facts you need to understand about multiplying matrices. In the next video, I'm going to demonstrate how to multiply matrices. I'm going to work out maybe 3 or 2 examples to show how we can multiply matrices. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also invite your friends to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you found this video helpful, remember to like it and also share with your friends. Thank you so much. God bless you.